Goeienaand en welkom. Good evening and welcome. Cheers. In these times, I often think of a quote from Samuel Beckett. It says, "Words are all we have." Interestingly enough, probably the greatest poet, writer, who ever lived, the bard, William Shakespeare, lived partly during the Great Plague in London and wrote quite a few of his poems and probably plays during his time of isolation. This is probably the most quoted soliloquy ever from Hamlet. To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether it is nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them, to die, to sleep, no more, and by a sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep, perchance to dream. There's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the scorns and whips of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of disprized love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes? When he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin, who would fardels bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country, from whose bourne no traveller returns, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others we know not of. Thus conscience makes cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied o'er with a pale cast of thought. And enterprises of great pitch and moment with this regard their currents turn awry, and lose the name of action. Een van Afrikaanse grootste digters, in my oë seker die grootste, van Wyk Louw. Hoeveel groot verse het hy nie geskryf nie. Hierdie versie is sekerlik nie sy grootste nie, maar het 'n baie spesiale plek in my hart. Dit skets 'n prentjie van 'n verbygegane era, met nostalgie, maar met deernis en wonderbaarlike woordspel. Karoodorp someraand. Die laatmiddag het room geword, en treine wat ver fluit, hulle wit bont klas skawagter wat waggel op 'n kluit. En rook uit die lokasie rook, en by die dorpsdam sing, en mense in tennisbroekies loop die koper skemer in. Deur op die nasionale pad loop onhoorbaar hoog motortjies. En op die slagkraal se ou fiets kom staan van self moeg voor die oog. Dan Tolie met die kanker kom sit op die boringhuis se stoep. Vanaand gaan hoor ons nog hoe sy die Here en die uile roep.